7. Types of people you must avoid to protect your mind. Stoic Bloom. There are people who don't need to speak, don't need to lift a finger. Just their presence in your life is enough to disturb your inner peace. Seneca once said, "Diseases of the soul are more dangerous than those of the body because they are harder to detect and harder to escape." And yet, you are allowing the wrong people to occupy your inner tranquility every single day. When you let the wrong types of people enter your mind, you're not just inviting suffering, you are surrendering your inner freedom. This video will help you clearly identify 7 harmful types of people that Stoic philosophy has always warned us about. The deceivers, the manipulators, the blamers, the unrepentant, the abusers, and the isolators. Putting distance between you and their presence is a courageous act in itself, just as Epictetus said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." If you're seeking inner freedom, hit subscribe to Stoic Bloom right now. We're not preaching self-help. We're walking with you on the path to mastering yourself. 1. The manipulator, who twists reality to control your mind. One of the most dangerous people to your inner peace is the manipulator, the one who makes you question yourself by subtly distorting reality. They don't attack with cruel words or overt actions. They come off as kind, attentive, and seemingly wanting to help you grow. But bit by bit, they sow seeds of doubt, making you feel flawed, weak, and dependent. When you start asking yourself, "Am I wrong? Am I really that weak?" the manipulation has already begun to corrode your mind. Seneca wrote, "He who fears many things will be controlled by many things." This is a piercing warning. Manipulators don't need visible power. They manipulate by planting fear and positioning themselves as the only one who can help you through it. While you're doubting yourself, they're quietly taking control. Marcus Aurelius emphasized in Meditations, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." What they target isn't your behavior, but your mind, the fortress that should be unbreakable. When caught in this spiral, you lose self-command. You can't tell what's true and what's emotion being engineered. Sweet suggestions with hidden intent. Small actions that make you feel helpless without them. All tools in their control game. Epictetus reminds us, "No man is free who is not master of himself." So the first step to freeing yourself from the manipulator's influence is to return to self-mastery. Ask yourself, am I acting on reason and conscience, or simply reacting to emotional manipulation? Don't argue, don't try to convince them. Step away from the chessboard they're playing. No need to raise your voice, just be clear. When you regain clarity, they lose power. Learn to trust your observations more than their justifications. And remember, someone who truly loves you will lead you to independence, not trap you in doubt. If this resonates with your experience, don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Bloom to continue your journey in protecting your mind and mastering your life. The deeper content coming next will help you stand firm amidst all upheaval. Thank you for staying with us. In the next part, we'll explore another dangerously deceptive type, the one who hides behind charm. Don't miss it. If you find this content helpful, leave a comment saying, "I am awakening," so Stoic Bloom knows you're listening and walking alongside us. We truly value your presence and feedback. Every word you share is a light helping Stoic wisdom reach more minds. Stoic Bloom, steady in spirit, resilient in chaos. 2. The one who wears the mask of charm. There are people whose very presence feels like light shining upon you. They're polite, gentle, and eerily understanding. They know exactly when to compliment, when to listen, when to approach. You feel appreciated, even exceptional, and that's the sweetest trap of all. The one who hides behind charm never arrives with rudeness. They come with calculated grace. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Remember, it is not the person who harms you, but your opinion of them that does. This doesn't encourage suspicion toward everyone, but highlights that your first defense lies in your awareness. The charming deceiver is not easy to detect because they don't hurt you directly. Instead, they lull your vigilance, invite you to open up, and from there you become vulnerable. Seneca warned, "There's nothing more dangerous than kindness from those who aren't sincere." Someone who appears kind but constantly seeks attention, who controls the relationship through praise, and who turns help into a debt. That's not kindness, that's strategy. Consistent compliments that lack depth, unusual attention without stability, a presence that brings an ambition in equal measure. These are signs. So how do you escape this false allure? Epictetus advised, train your mind to look at actions, not just words. A truly good person doesn't need to appear perfect. Their character shines through steady, consistent behavior, not embellishments. Watch them when they're not the center of attention, how they treat the weak, how they react without applause. If someone makes you feel both admired and insecure, both important and fragile, it's time to step back. Creating distance is not weakness, it's strength. It's choosing who deserves a place in your inner world. If this content helps you see the people around you more clearly, support Stoic Bloom by hitting subscribe so Stoic philosophy can continue spreading light to minds in need. Thank you for walking with us. 3. The one who never feels remorse. Have you ever apologized to someone because they did something wrong? Have you ever been the one cleaning up the aftermath of a mistake you didn't make? If so, you may be dealing with someone who never feels remorse. They don't apologize. They don't self-reflect. They never take responsibility. They always have a reason, always someone else to blame, and absolutely no intention of changing. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Don't waste time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one." That quote seems born to oppose this very type of person, those who resist self-improvement at all costs. When they do wrong, they don't step back to learn. They move forward by distorting the truth, making others question their own emotions and memories. Seneca emphasized, mistakes are the path to wisdom if we're willing to walk it. But these people never walk that path. They stay at the crossroads of arrogance and pride, choosing ego preservation over healing the harm they have caused. They fear admitting fault as if it would consume them, because to them, being wrong is being weak, being defeated. The unrepentant don't just hurt once, they let wounds fester by denying them. They make others live in doubt, wondering, am I overreacting? And in doing so, they continue causing harm without guilt, without shame, without awakening. Epictetus once said, "No man is free who is not master of himself." A person who refuses to see their faults is a slave to their ego. You cannot save them from themselves, but you can save yourself by walking away from that relationship. If you find yourself always being the one to keep the peace, always apologizing first, always bearing the consequences, stop. A person with character will reflect. A person with integrity will say sorry. There is no growth without remorse. Surround yourself with people who are brave, brave enough to admit fault, to change, and to grow. If you've been in such a situation, don't keep it to yourself. Share your story in the comments. And if you believe more people need to hear this truth, share the video so Stoic Bloom can bring light to those stuck in toxic darkness. Thank you for staying with us this far. Or, the one who finds a joy in others' pain. There is a kind of spiritual poison, the joy drawn from others' suffering. These people are not just callous, they derive pleasure from pain, treating others' collapse as a stage to assert their own sense of worth. Epictetus warned, choose companions who make you better. Those who make you smaller, walk away. You'll recognize this type by their smirks when someone stumbles, their jokes disguised as sarcasm, and their strange excitement when recounting others' failures. They can't share in joy, but they are always present when bad things happen, like spectators secretly rooting for the tragedy. Other people's pain is where they feel strongest. Seneca once said, "No one is more miserable than the one who has never faced adversity." But this kind of person uses others' adversity to forget the abyss inside themselves. This twisted joy doesn't come from strength, it comes from emptiness. They can't build value through effort, so they stand on others' ruins to feel taller. But that kind of height is fake. If someone never shows up when you're happy, but is always around when you're down, be alert. Are they lifting you up or measuring how far you've fallen? Marcus Aurelius taught, "Keep your mind on what elevates the soul," and that does not include those who drink others' pain like strong liquor. Leave them not because you hate them, but because you respect yourself. Your mind is a temple. Don't let anyone enter with muddy feet. If things that once felt vague are now becoming clear to you, leave a comment. I have realized. With Stoic bloom, you're not walking this journey alone. 5. The one who plants isolation. Not everyone who makes you feel lonely turns their back on you. Sometimes the very person closest to you is the one quietly building walls between you and the world. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Human beings are made to live together, like the feet and the hands, like the upper and lower rows of teeth. But there are those who don't want you to bond with anyone but them. They whisper doubts into your mind about your friends, your family, your colleagues. They say things like, 'He's not really honest with you,' or 'Your family will never understand you like I do.' It sounds like care, but in truth, they're breaking every support structure around you." I once had a friend like that. She started with gentle whispers. "Your mom seems a bit controlling, don't you think? Your best friend seems kind of jealous of you." At first, I brushed it off, but over time I began to feel isolated, like no one truly understood me, except her. By the time I realized what was happening, the deepest bonds in my life had already worn thin. Seneca once said, "We are stronger when we have someone to lift us up." And that's precisely why toxic people know. To control you, they must first make you lonely. Be alert. Yourself, is someone slowly pulling you away from those who love you unconditionally? Are you afraid to open up to your friends or family for fear of judgment? If so, that's not protection. That's a dangerous isolation. The wise action is to reconnect with genuine relationships. Make a call, send a message, apologize if you must, but most importantly, never let one person become your entire world. Share this video with someone you want to protect from isolation, because true connection is where the mind is nourished, not manipulated. 6. The envious disguised as the well-intentioned. In a world where kindness and support are praised, it's sad that some people use that very appearance to plant doubt and cause harm. The envious disguised as the well-intentioned is a classic form of deceit cloaked in concern. They don't come to lift you up. They come to make you hesitate, using advice that seems helpful but is laced with poison. Their comments often begin with praise, then quickly turn into subtle critiques or disguised warnings. They'll say, "You're doing great, but maybe you're being a bit overconfident." Or, "Congrats, though I heard someone else did it even better." These words don't make you stronger. They shake your belief in yourself. Seneca once said, "Envy is the ulcer of the soul." These people live in the shadows of their own insecurity. They can't stand others' light because it illuminates their darkness. They can't celebrate your success because it makes them feel small. But instead of working on themselves, they choose to drag others down to their level with words, with advice masked as goodwill. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When we let envy-infected words enter our awareness, we unconsciously plant seeds of doubt and unease. It's crucial to understand words that make you feel small don't come from truth, but from envy. First step, stay sharp. Learn to tell the difference between sincere advice and fake concern. A true friend will lift you up, not belittle you. They'll cheer you on without comparisons. When facing false goodwill, don't react harshly. Just stand firm in your values. As Epictetus taught, no one can harm you unless you allow them. Don't let anyone dim the light inside you. Keep growing, keep moving forward, and keep your heart unclouded by others' envy. If this message is helping you feel more grounded in a challenging world, support Stoic Bloom by subscribing, sharing your experience in the comments, and passing this video on to someone who may need it. Thank you for being here with us on this journey. Stoic Bloom, steady through envy, unshaken by false kindness, composed in all storms. 7. The emotional manipulator. Among toxic relationships, there is one particularly dangerous type, the emotional manipulator. They don't yell, they don't threaten, they don't use force. Their weapon is calculated softness, a sorrowful gaze, a trembling voice, a way of making you feel guilty every time you do what's right for yourself. They don't force you to change. They make you want to change. Out of fear, they'll be thrown angry or see you as a bad person for saying no. These people use pain like currency to bargain within the relationship. If you try to leave, they'll cry, "You're abandoning me. I can't live without you." If you make a decision for yourself, they'll say, "So I don't matter anymore?" They turn their discomfort into your responsibility. Slowly, you stop living by reason and start living by their emotions. Epictetus once taught, "It's not the event that troubles us, but our opinion of it." The emotional manipulator understands this well and works to distort your opinion, not the facts. You do the right thing, but they make you feel wrong. You choose a better path, but they guilt you for not taking them with you. Marcus Aurelius warned, "A wise man doesn't let his mind be shaken by what's beyond his control." Other people's emotions are beyond your control. You can have compassion, but not at the cost of losing yourself. The manipulator holds power only as long as you fear their sadness. When you realize their emotions are not your burden, that's when their power ends. Practice compassionate boundaries. Saying no is not cruelty. Refusing manipulation is not heartlessness. In fact, the courage to say no is the sign of a strong soul. Seneca wrote, "Be your own guardian before becoming a savior for others." If every conversation leaves you drained, re-examine that relationship. If you're always the one at fault, always apologizing, you may be trapped in emotional manipulation. If what you're hearing reflects your own experience, share it in the comments below. Stoic Bloom is here to walk with you, to remind you you have the right to protect your mind. Subscribe to stay connected to future insights, because each moment of awareness brings you closer to inner freedom. Stoic Bloom, where emotion is honored but never exploited. Conclusion: choose to protect your inner world, not compromise for wrong relationships. We've just walked through 7 types of people who can destroy your inner calm without raising their voice. They don't attack you with weapons, but with deception, charm, coldness, envy, and subtle emotional control. If left too long in your inner life, these people turn you into a version of themselves, doubtful, exhausted, and disconnected from who you really are. Marcus Aurelius said it plainly, "You have power over your mind. No one can take it from you unless you allow it." That is why you must learn to say no, not from hate, but to preserve the most valuable thing you possess, inner freedom. The wise act is the one that protects boundaries. Epictetus constantly reminds us that the only thing we can control is our attitude and our actions. If someone keeps hurting you, draining you, and robbing you of peace, they do not deserve to stay. You don't need to argue. You don't need to expose them. You don't even need to get angry. You just need to walk away, quietly, firmly. That's how Stoics choose power, with silence and deep awareness. If this resonates with your path, leave a comment. I choose to protect my inner peace. And don't forget to subscribe to Stoic Bloom, where we learn to live with strength, stillness, and dignity in a chaotic world. Thank you for staying until the end of this video. We'll see you on another journey where Stoic wisdom becomes the torch lighting your path to growth. Stoic Bloom. Guard your mind, preserve your soul, and grow your character.